Hey, it's Ines, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Epiphaynest. So, in this video, I want to talk about change. Why is it so hard to change? But before I continue in this video, I just want to make it clear that I will not give you a step-by-step guide on how you can change yourself. This video is all about understanding the reason behind why is it so difficult to change no matter how much we want it to. And after I talk about this topic, you yourself will know how you can realistically and effectively change yourself in your own way and pace. And I want to download this knowledge that I have to your brain because I myself was left stunted for a period of time when I discovered this information. It is that life changing. So let's get into it. So, have you ever wondered why is it that when we plan to start jogging, we always just end up being stuck on day one and we struggle to do it again, then it becomes a cycle? Why is it that even when we tell ourselves that I am done doom scrolling and we still find ourselves doing it? Why is it that despite promising to ourselves that we'd sleep early so that we can wake up early and the ending is always the same? It's 2 a.m. in the morning and still scrolling endlessly. Trust me, I know because I have been through it. I mean, we all have been through it. And what if I say that it's not your fault? Because knowing that you have all the intentions, you have all the desire to change, but you're still messing up. It's not you, honey. It is your brain. Yes, you heard me correctly. It is your brain. Your brain is the problem. I mean, it's not your brain because it's just naturally the brain is the problem. The human brain is the problem. So our brain is highly adaptive. It is designed to optimize our body's energy by automating repetitive behaviors. Again, our brain is designed to optimize our body's energy by automating repetitive behaviors. When an action, thought, or routine is performed repeatedly, the neural pathway responsible for that behavior is strengthened through the process known as neuroplasticity. I am sure that you've heard neural pathway and neuroplasticity before, and let's discuss them so that we can understand more clearly our topic in this video. Okay, let's start with neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity refers to the brain's natural ability to adapt, change, and restructure itself, effectively rewriting its own neural pathway and making repetitive action easier and automatic. And yes, our brain can do that. It can adapt and restructure itself. To understand this concept more, we have to know what is a neural pathway. Inside our brains, we have billions of connected neurons that sends messages about specific thought or action to one another. Each chain of connection is called neural pathway. And yeah, basically it is a path that messages in our brain travel through. These pathways are created by our past and present habits. So, for example, if you think of doing something new, your brain creates a brand new neural pathway for that behavior. And the more often we do a specific behavior, the stronger its neural pathway becomes. And when the neural pathway is strong, performing the behavior becomes effortless and automatic. Okay, I'll give an analogy. So, imagine a new road that is completely overgrown with wild grass, vines, and other debris. Because of these blockages, the passerby will have a hard time passing through at first. This represents you struggling to execute that new thought. But if this road is used continuously by vehicles passing by, people clearing the way, the debris will eventually be removed. And over time, the path gets cleared and passing through becomes easier. Now, this represents you. doing repeatedly that new behavior even when it's hard and even when your own body resists it until it becomes effortless and automatic. Now, this just simply shows us that change is not immediate. It needs repetition and discipline. Now, this is why majority of the people that says new year, new me fails. So yeah, you can't just simply tell yourself that tomorrow I'm gonna change. No, it's impossible to change overnight. It's not that simple. It needs strong commitment. So yeah, if we want to establish change or a new habit in our life, we have to do it repeatedly. So now you have full understanding behind the reason why is it much easier to just doom scroll, bed rot, and do the things that's been holding you down for years. Because that is what your brain used to do for a long time. And creating change, challenge, and requires your brain effort. And it is making it uncomfortable. And your brain hates that. Your brain naturally avoid things that causes stress. I have another thing that I will share to you guys to support this fact more. So, this is myelin. So, if you're unfamiliar with it, myelin is a protective fatty substance produced in the brain that acts exactly like plastic insulation around an electrical wire. To give you another analogy, imagine you have a copper wire with no cover around it. The electricity will obviously leaks out and move slowly. But if you wrap it in insulation, the electricity will stay inside and shoots forward at lightning speed. Again, when you start a new habit, your brain fires a message down to a brand new neural pathway. Now, because it is new, there is no myelin insulation in that path yet, meaning the messages move slowly and executing the habit feels difficult. But every single time you choose to repeat that habit, specialized cells in your brain notice the high traffic on that path and say, we are using this path a lot, let's insulate it. They wrap a layer of myelin around that specific pathway. If you do it 10 times, you'll get a thin layer of myelin. But if you do it 100 times, the myelin gets thicker and thicker. The thicker the myelin becomes, the faster, easier, and the more effortless it is for you to execute that habit and until it becomes completely automatic. Having this kind of system inside our body is a double-edged sword. It is so wonderful to know that we can reprogram and restructure our lifestyle, but it can also hold us down. Using all the things we've discussed minutes ago, you can reprogram your brain to work for you with intention instead of it just controlling you. So, if you really want to change and if you really want to implement a new habit in your life, you have to be really disciplined. You must be highly disciplined. You must keep doing it over and over again so that your brain can produce myelin on that neural pathway, which is the exact thing that strengthens it. And when that happens, executing that behavior becomes effortless and automatic. This shows us that the last thing we should rely on when trying to change is our brain's natural instinct. Our brain does not categorize habit as good or bad. It only cares about how frequently you do them. Among all the organs in our body, the brain takes up the most energy. It consumes 20% of our entire body's energy supply. That's why it refuses to prioritize brand new neural pathway because the more that is not familiar or the more that is not frequent, the more effort it requires for our brain and it causes it discomfort and it hates that. Compare it to those that we do often that become automatic. The frequent the behavior is, the more effortless it is to execute and the less energy it requires. And that's what our brain loves. Our brain naturally avoids stress and discomfort of recognizing a new neural pathway. That is why it would rather do the old habits. And again, our brain won't categorize a habit as bad or good, okay? It would rather do the old habits because it is much easier, familiar, and requires less energy because you do it more often. So if you want to establish a new habit, even if it's good, because at first it is unfamiliar, meaning it will require a heavy energy, your brain will naturally resist that. Our brain loves familiarity. So, if you want to make a habit effortless and automatic, you have to frequently expose that habit to your brain so that it would be familiar to it. That means choosing to perform it over and over again, even when it's hard, even when your own body is going against you. But once you successfully made that behavior familiar to your brain, boom, you just made it effortless and automatic. And congratulations, you've just implemented a new habit in your life. In this topic, we can really see how wonderful, how amazing, and how much powerful the human brain is. It can be our greatest ally and tool, and can be our worst enemy. This is Ines, and I will see you in the next video.